Hey, how you diddling? Hope you're diddling well. I just thought I'd do a quick urban forage actually, and I'm in Windsor just walking along a high street, or actually it's like a main road, and I spotted a few things that might be of interest with lockdown looming or going into lockdown, coming out of lockdown. There might be a few bits and bobs that you can find. You're not necessarily going to be eating them because some of the stuff obviously in the urban areas is not as clean as I'd like it to be, but you can definitely use it as a basis for you to identify things ready for when you get back out in the countryside. So the first little thing I found, if I look down on the floor down here, you see these little berries, and they're from the strawberry tree, and you can actually eat these. Look how soft they are. And I'll try and pick one from the tree if I can reach. Here we go. And soft in texture, I'll eat one. And the texture is strange, but there's definitely something there. It's almost like a fruitiness, slightly bitter, sweet. So I reckon you could probably make a jam out of those or something. But you'd have to bypass the kind of seeds inside. But look at all that. Lovely. However, if you come down here, I'm being watched. I'm a bit of a freak of nature right now. I spotted some random mushrooms as well, and this is in Windsor. If we come down here, you can just see we've got some lovely horse mushrooms or agaricus, and there's a couple more coming up. If I look down here, you can just see them starting to come up, and that's hidden under the hedgerow, and I would actually eat that. There's nothing wrong with that, clean, pure, and so on. But it continues as we walk along. So another one we got here is the Oregon Grape, or Barberry, packed full of vitamin C. Quite sharp in flavour. So I've got the berries here, and yeah, they're okay. Again, you could probably make syrups, jams, that type of thing out of them, maybe put them in sauces. But if I was to taste one, got really sharp, but it's a delicious sharpness. It's strange, sharp, slightly bitter, more bitter when you bite on the seeds. But the colour, look at that. And if you can see it. Amazing colour. Packed full of vitamin C though. So even if they're not great to eat, it's going in my body. So this next one we're coming to is called Boston Ivy, I believe. And it starts off as a green leaf. And then you can see the beautiful colours that it turns to and changes to. If I was to pick this, you can actually eat the leaf, use it as like a vine leaf to stuff and cook and steam and so on. But you do get the like grapes with it. But don't be fooled by these, because they do look a bit grape-esque, but these are poisonous, so don't eat those. But the leaf, go for it. Decorative purposes, or stuff them, steam them and eat them, make sure they're cooked. So I've just got to this park and saw a load of park and bark. If you can you see there? Lovely coral fungus. So I've just picked a piece that was on the floor broken, as I didn't want to disturb it. There's loads there, but this is strict branch coral, and I believe it's inedible just because it's bitter when cooked. But still beautiful to look at, and it's just in the local park on the floor. Get hunting. On another note as well, the smell, so mushroomy, almost truffle-like. It's a shame. Anyone out there know what I can do with it? Can I use it? Can I not? Can I get that bitterness away? Please enlighten me, educate me. This next one's my favourite, the old Staghorn Summer. I'll take a small one off. If you look at that, beautiful stuff. That nice sour, sharp fruitiness, and when you dry it, it gets better and better, citrus, but almost like a freeze-dried raspberry flavour. That's the Staghorn Summer. There's quite a few sumac trees coming down here, but I've just noticed next to it there's something called the flowering currant or red currant. And if you were to get these leaves and just crush them in your fingers and smell it, it's unbelievable. It smells like ribena, but also you want to wait for the red flowers, but this time of year I'm sure this is still usable. Just found a nice little bit of hedgerow in a recreational park, and quite interesting down here. First of all, this stuff here is burdock, dandelion and burdock. You can dig the root up and use that to infuse. There's a few other bits along here. You've got some plantain here, packed full of goodness, a nice little green. Even along this way, you got some jack by the hedge kind of popping up. But what I'm really interested in, and I think it's quite underrated, is this stuff here. It's this beautiful shaped leaf is mallow. And I've eaten this a couple of times this week, and it's delicious, wilted down as a green, packed full of goodness, looks pretty, and is underrated. So that's your mallow, that distinct leaf. I'm getting really excited now. So I've just seen a massive cluster of something that I absolutely love, one of my favourite things. But before I do that, I've just found this rosehip, and we all know what they are. We know what they look like on the trees right now, but for me they're at their best now, and I like to just squeeze them when they're kind of super ripe, and you get that paste that comes out. Look at that. And then we don't eat enough of these like that. It's like almost like passion fruit, date. It's got a sweetness to it, then a sharpness, citrus, incredible. But just don't eat the seeds, just squeeze it, suck it out, and I'll eat about 20 of them in one sitting, no problem. But the reason I've done that is just to get my juices going for this. Check this out. A big old pile of horseradish. So it's always easy to identify because of those kind of donkey ears or donkey eared leaves, but also the smell. So if I was just to rub that, I'm going to find a little leaf inside. It's at its prime now, it's like really green. But look at that. How pretty is that? Oh, delicious, but it's the root inside now, and autumn's probably the best time if you wanted to have a little dig and pull out that wild root and have a little nibble, or if you want to ferment it, make a horseradish sauce, preserve it, dry it, ground it into a powder. But yeah, amazing stuff. And that's just starting to burn in my mouth now. Oh, delicious. So in all seriousness, I've been walking around for about 40 minutes. I probably walked about 3 miles, that's it. And I found about 10, maybe 12 things that you can pick, find, eat, research and mess about with. And, you know, pick something up and think, what can I do with it? Pick up that berry from the strawberry tree. It's soft. What can I do to it? Can I rub it through a sieve and get the puree and turn that into an ice cream or something? Can I cook it? Can I jam it? You know, think of all these things to do. What happens if I salt it, or if I ferment it? Can I smoke it? All these things, just play about and you'll create recipes. And already now I'm walking through loads of apple trees. So this is just in Windsor and what's around me in the local area, local park, and it's all local flavour. And I think that's what we all need to do more of, really. It's just explore our surroundings and get amongst it, get involved and educate ourselves and eat what's out there and eat what's free.